Find the most common element in a list. What is an efficient way to find the most common element in a Python list? My list items may not be hashable, so can't use a dictionary. Also, in case of draws, the item with the lowest index should be returned. Example.
A simpler one-liner.
With so many solutions proposed, I'm amazed nobody's proposed what I'd consider an obvious one, for non-hashable but comparable elements, for idtools.groupb. 1. idtools offers fast, reusable functionality, and lets you delegate some tricky logic to well-tested standard library components. Consider, for example, this could be written more concisely, of course, but I'm aiming for maximal clarity. The two print statements can be uncommented to better see the machinery in action, for example, with prints uncommented. Emits. As you see, SL is a list of pairs, each pair an item followed by the item's index in the original list, to implement the key condition that, if the most common items with the same highest counter is greater than 1, the result must be the earliest occurring one. Group B groups by the item only, via operator.itemGetter. The auxiliary function, called once per grouping during the max computation, receives and internally unpacks a group, a tuple with two items, item, iterable, where the iterables items are also two item tuples, item, original index, the items of SL. Then the auxiliary function uses a loop to determine both the count of entries in the group's iterable, and the minimum original index. It returns those as combined quality key, with the minute index sign changed, so the max operation will consider, better, those items that occurred earlier in the original list. This code could be much simpler if it worried a little less about big O issues in time and space, e.g. Same basic idea, just expressed more simply and compactly, but, alas, an extra O, n, auxiliary space, to embody the group's iterables to lists, and O, n squared, time, to get the L. Index of every item. While premature optimization is the root of all evil in programming, deliberately picking an O, n squared, approach when an O, n log n, of 1 is available just goes too much against the grain of scalability. Finally, for those who prefer one-liners to clarity and performance, a bonus one-liner version with suitably mangled names. Happy Smiley.
Borrowing from here, this can be used with Python 2.7. Works around 4 to 6 times faster than Alex's solutions, and is 50 times faster than the one-liner proposed by Nuect. On Python 3.6 Plus, any Python 3.7 Plus, the above will select the first seen element in case of ties. If you're running on older Python, to retrieve the element that occurs first in the list in case of ties, you need to do 2 passes to preserve order.
What you want is known in statistics as mode, and Python of course has a built-in function to do exactly that for you. Note that if there is no most common element, such as cases where the top 2 are tied, this will raise statistics error on Python. Equals 3.7, and on 3.8 onwards it will return the first one encountered.